We'll now recognize the gentleman from Louisiana, Dr. Fleming, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I thank the committee for allowing the courtesy today to sit in, and I appreciate the panel here today. I come from the 4th District of Louisiana, which has the Haynesville Shale. The Haynesville Shale, as you know, in the period around 2007-2008, we had nothing less than a revolution in marrying the old technology of hydrofracking and the new technology of horizontal drilling, which has released tremendous wealth and economic activity, which has really sustained my district through difficult economic times. But we're victims of our own success, unfortunately. As a result of that, as you know, the price has been well displayed here, has been depressed because of all of the production, and so we've gone from excessive demand and a little supply to excessive supply and relatively the same demand, which is kind of interesting because our friends on the other side of the aisle assure us that the high cost of gasoline and oil has nothing to do with supply and demand. It's speculation. So we'd like to have a little speculation in natural gas, if that would be okay with you, gentlemen, just to get that price up a little bit, because we've had a number of actually drilling sites that we've not moved forward on because it's just not economically viable. The other piece is in Lake Charles, we have the Cheniere plant, which is an import, an incoming supply depot for LNG, because we've been net importers, right? Well, now they're spending $10 billion to make it a net export facility, and we're glad about that. So we're going to be well positioned for the future to not only take care of our own needs, but to take care of the needs of the world when it comes to this revolution. So I have a couple of questions today. Mr. Smith, what are the criteria for approving one terminal over another? Is geography a factor, a region already has a facility, or other projects that may be less advantageous? So what really is, how do you decide about that? Because we are waiting on final permitting and approval with our plant.
All right. Well, thank you, Congressman, for the question. As you're aware, and I think as you stated in your comments, we've already approved one export facility, and that's the Sabine Pass facility there in Louisiana.
Right.
So subsequent to that, now that we're looking at cumulative impact of another additional, I think, 28.2 billion cubic feet a day of potential exports, one of the things that we've announced as we go through our process is that we do have a queue. We've got a sequence that we're going to use in order to determine the order in which we're going to evaluate the export opportunities. What we did is we took all of the applications, all the applicants before the Department. We divided them into two categories, ones which had submitted their FERC pre-filing application, which is really the process where you start spending more significant quantities of money, and then those who had not filed FERC pre-filing. So within those, it's on first-come, first-served basis. So there's a list, there's a PDF on the DOE website. You can see what the next applicant we're going to consider is. You can see what the last applicant is. And we're going to work through that queue, looking at all the factors that we've announced as part of our public interest determination, everything from jobs, balance of trade, economic impact on consumers, prices, impact on industry, international issues, economic and environmental issues, a wide range of factors that we're going to use in order to evaluate each one of those applicants.
Do you do some in block, or are they all one-on-one?
So our sequence is going to be we're compelled by statute to evaluate each of these on an individual basis.
Okay. What about the non-FTA countries? What's the policy towards them? Are they still in the queue?
Right. So the law breaks up applicants in two categories, FTAs and non-FTAs. So free trade agreement countries essentially are approved without delay or modification by the Department. There's no discretion that's exercised under statute by the Department. So those are being approved as we receive them. Right. It's the non-FTA applicants that we're evaluating. Okay.
Now, is that to say that there's going to be difficulty approving them? What are going to be the challenges in getting approvals for them?
Well, there's a process. So I think for me, as I'd mentioned earlier, it's illustrative that even on this panel, you've got individuals who think they should be approved immediately, and all of them should be approved. There are a lot of voices who think that there are concerns with exporting LNG in terms of rising prices. There are lots of arguments that are being made. We've received somewhere in the order of 200,000 comments in addition to the studies that we've received, and some of which we've requested. And it's our job to look at all of the factors so that as expeditiously as possible, as transparently as possible, and as quickly as possible, we get to a public interest determination that's going to inspire the right type of confidence in terms of its ability to withstand the scrutiny that it's certain to attract. And that's the process that we're in right now, Congressman.
Right. Well, anyway, I certainly want to underscore that we should encourage approval of non-FTA countries as well. It will be good for the global economy. It will help our prices. Again, you've just heard that we have more natural gas now than we ever thought we had in the past. And probably with newer technologies coming online, we'll have it even more in the future. And it's not that we want to drive prices up. We want prices to be at real market rates. That's going to be the sweet point for, I think, consumers and for jobs. With that, I yield back, and again, thank you for your courtesy.